Both disciplines rely on measurable habits and just sheer mental toughness, transforming that psychological. Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are slipping backstage a bit, stepping into the mind, the very focused mind of a professional mentalist.
Right.
But forget the cheap gimmicks and stage tricks for a second.
Yeah, that's not really what this is about.
We're here to figure out what happens when you take that kind of extreme concentration, that insight, and apply it to your everyday life. So our mission in this deep dive is, well, pretty straightforward. We're unpacking insights from a top-tier mentalist, someone who says these techniques go way beyond just stagecraft.
Right, they're practical tools.
Exactly. We want to pull out those high leverage habits, the mindset shifts that actually lead to genuine influence, sharper focus, real clarity.
Things you can actually use.
Yeah, whether you're leading a team, maybe writing a complex paper, or just finally trying to commit to that difficult long-term project you've been putting off.
We're looking for the mentalist's secret sauce, essentially, for high performance in the real world. And that framing is really important for you, the listener, because the core argument here, it's that these aren't some kind of innate magical powers.
You're right, not something you're just born with.
No, instead, the perceived magic is really the result of systematic, repeatable training, things you can learn.
Okay.
So by taking the time to truly understand how the human mind works, both yours and, crucially, others, you can actually get measurable improvements.
Improvements in what, specifically?
Well, in your ability to remember details, for one, to set stronger intentions, and, maybe most importantly, identify and overcome those internal blocks.
The big ones.
Yeah, the self-doubt, that fear of rejection, and, chronic procrastination, the stuff that really holds people back.
Okay, let's unpack that first big concept we pulled from the sources.
Okay.
Influence. When we think influence, often it's like powerful speeches or big gestures.
Grandstanding, maybe?
Yeah. But the material really stresses that to gain genuine influence, it's actually less about manipulation.
Much less.
And much more about deep, careful connection.
And what's fascinating here is how the mentalist defines that connection. See, on stage, they seem influential because it feels like they're inside your head.
Right. That's the trick, or part of it.
But in the real world, our sources suggest influence comes from a deep mastery of observation. The essential skill isn't manipulation at all. It's learning to read people more accurately.
Read people more accurately. Okay, how does that structured reading translate, say, to a boardroom or a networking event? Can you give us a nugget, like a technique?
Absolutely. Look, the professional mentalist doesn't just glance at someone. They engage in what the sources call rapid observation drills.
Drills, so practice.
Constant practice. They train themselves to observe patterns, subtle cues, the tiny signals that, frankly, 99% of people just completely miss.
Like what? Give me an example.
Okay, so for instance, they might quickly scan for what's called the rule of three when meeting someone new.
Rule of three.
Yeah. First, focus on their eye contact consistency. Are they holding it, avoiding it? Second, look for micro expressions, those fleeting looks that betray real emotion.
Okay.
And third, their body posture, or their hand gestures. Are they open, closed off, fidgety?
So eyes, face, body. 3 quick checks.
Exactly. This instantly gives you a read on their current emotional state, maybe their confidence level, their openness to the conversation right now.
And knowing that lets you.
It lets you build trust immediately because you can tailor your language, your approach to meet them exactly where they are, intellectually and emotionally. You're not guessing.
So it's like turning empathy into a structured skill, a high leverage skill.
Precisely.
If you know how they think, their default state, their operational system, as you put it before, then you know how to frame your message so it actually lands.
Yes, you gain access to their operational system.
Which stops you wasting effort just guessing what might resonate.
Exactly. And just to clarify that jargon, operational system just means understanding the predictable ways they process information or respond to stress or make decisions.
Practical example.
Sure. If someone crosses their arms, leans back physically, you probably need to build more rapport before launching into a complex argument.
Makes sense.
Or if they're nodding along but their eyes dart away every 3 seconds, well, their attention is somewhere else. You need to gently bring them back.
So that structured observation, that's the high leverage point.
That's where the influence begins, real influence.
Okay, now here's where it gets really interesting, I think, especially for anyone trying to build an audience or network effectively. The sources emphasize that memory and attention, they aren't just trivial pleasantries.
No, not just good manners.
Right. They're framed as critical tools, tools that build relational leverage.
They absolutely are relational leverage. It's built on demonstrating that you actually value the other person enough to hold their data, their details, in high regard.
And the mentalist does this how? Through amazing memory feats.
Well, yes, but it's how they achieve them. They use anchoring techniques. That's key.
Anchoring. I was hoping you'd touch on that. Can you give us an example? How does that translate from the stage to, say, preparing for a normal business meeting?
Okay. A mentalist might anchor a piece of information, like a volunteer's chosen word, maybe to a specific physical location in the room, or a really bizarre mental image, something vivid.
Making it instantly retrievable, even under pressure.
Exactly. So for you, the listener, this means when you meet a key contact, you don't just hear their name, you immediately anchor it.
Yeah.
Anchor it to a key piece of information about them. Maybe their name is David, and he mentioned he loves sailing. You instantly visualize David sailing a huge ship, make it active, maybe a little weird.
Ah, so it makes the process active, not passive reception.
Yes. It's not about having a naturally good memory. It's about training your attention to apply a mental tag the moment the information hits your brain.
Okay, I see. So remembering a name, noticing a small detail about someone's project, or listening so fully, so actively, that you can reflect back their core argument without distorting it.
These are all acts of intense, deliberate attention.
And our sources frame these small, focused actions as essential. Essential for deep engagement and building that crucial trust.
That's right. They're not small things at all in terms of impact.
And this training in attention, it feels vital if you're focused on knowledge acquisition, right? Or just effective interaction in general.
Absolutely.
If you want to be known as someone who connects dots, who really understands complex fields, training this intense level of attention seems, well, non-negotiable.
It improves engagement whether you're writing for your blog, you're podcasting like us, or you're networking face-to-face.
Yeah, the execution of the skill requires that deep, sustained focus.
And this is where we see that interesting transition from the external reading of others to the internal discipline needed. Because the mentalist's ability to perform, it relies entirely on unwavering focus, often in really chaotic environments.
Right, the pressure of the stage.
Exactly. Which brings us neatly to mental toughness. Let's connect this to the bigger picture of discipline, because this is where the source material, I think, delivers a really unique perspective. The author, Pearlman, he draws credibility not just from being a mentalist,
Okay.
but also from his background as an endurance athlete, specifically a marathon and ultra-marathon runner.
Ah, okay. That dual background is crucial, isn't it?
Yeah.
It stops the advice feeling like just a superficial gimmick.
It grounds it massively.
But what's the specific connection? We've got a stage performer, an athlete. What links them beyond just, hard work?
It's the necessity of sustained high-level execution under immense internal pressure. Think about the stage mentalist.
Okay.
They have to maintain perfect focus, flawless memory recall, complete composure, while 500 people are staring, maybe even waiting for them to fail.
Intense pressure.
Right. They cannot procrastinate on stage. The performance demands immediate, precise execution. No room for hesitation.
Okay, and the ultramarathon runner.
Now, compare that to the ultramarathon runner. They have to execute for 12, 18, maybe 24 hours straight. They have to master the skill of compartmentalization.
Compartmentalization, meaning?
Meaning when the knee starts screaming or that voice of doubt creeps in saying, you can't finish this, the athlete has to compartmentalize the pain, box it up mentally, and focus purely on the next 10 steps. Just the next 10.
Ah, I see the parallel now. The mentalist compartmentalizes the nerves, the audience noise, the distraction.
To focus purely on the psychological sequence of the trick or the observation.
Both disciplines rely on measurable habits and just sheer mental toughness, transforming that psychological noise into productive routine.
Exactly. It's applied focus under duress.
And this grounding in endurance, it also supports the really practical approach they take to overcoming barriers. I found the section on procrastination particularly insightful.
Yeah, that's very practical. The book addresses things like fear of rejection, chronic procrastination, painful indecision. the common culprits.
Right.
And the crucial insight, I think, is that these aren't presented as character flaws you just need to motivate harder against.
Which, let's be honest, rarely works long term.
Right. Instead, they are framed very specifically as mental habits to unlearn.
Okay, unlearning a habit. Can you give us a concrete example? What does that look like in this context? Say, for procrastination.
Okay, take procrastination. It's often, at its root, a habit of avoidance. Triggered when you face a task that seems too big, too difficult, maybe too ambiguous.
Yeah, that feeling of overwhelm.
Exactly. So the mentalist's approach to unlearning this is systematic reversal.
Okay.
Instead of trying to drum up massive, overwhelming motivation.
Which feels impossible sometimes.
Right. You implement small, almost forced acts of execution. For example, using the 5-minute rule. Heard of that?
I think so. Commit to just 5 minutes.
Exactly. If you absolutely cannot face that huge project, you commit to working on it for exactly 5 minutes. No more, no less.
And the point is?
The habit you are actively unlearning is delay. The habit you are building in its place is initiation. Just starting. The athlete uses this constantly. When they don't want to get out of bed for that 4 a.m. run, they don't argue with themselves about the whole miserable run.
What do they argue about?
They only argue about putting their socks on. That's it.
Huh, okay. Break it down.
Break the avoidance habit into tiny, achievable initial steps. This speaks directly, I think, to any listener who feels stuck or overwhelmed by a large creative project or a big professional endeavor. Start ridiculously small.
That is a fundamentally different approach than just trying to feel more motivated, isn't it?
Completely different.
It reframes those internal barriers, not as moral failings, but as learned behavioral chains that need systematic, almost mechanical reversal. Okay, let's take a critical step back here for a moment. We've talked about influence through connection, observation skills, memory techniques, mental discipline. But, there's a ton of self-help literature out there on focus, on high performance. Does this mentalist framing truly offer anything like scientifically verifiable beyond that? Or is it just clever repackaging of established psychology?
That is the essential question, isn't it? And our sources do bring this up. While the book promises this shiny mentalist's edge, and the anecdotes are certainly engaging.
They are good stories.
They are. But we have to acknowledge that the core principles, extreme attention, memory training, influence through building rapport. These are deeply rooted in standard cognitive psychology and behavioral science. There's no getting around that.
This is not new science.
Not fundamentally new science, no. However, the true value and maybe the uniqueness is really in the framing. By casting these familiar concepts through the lens of a high-stakes performer, like a mentalist or an endurance athlete, it gives them a kind of high-performance identity.
Makes it feel more elite.
Sort of. It turns mundane-sounding tasks like listening better or remembering names into the tools of an elite practitioner. It makes the pursuit of excellence feel more attainable through structured practice, maybe, rather than relying on some vague concept like charisma or natural talent.
Okay, so the packaging helps make the practice seem more compelling, more achievable.
Exactly. It reframes the effort.
So what does this all mean then for someone wanting to apply this knowledge like tomorrow? We've got tools for externally reading others to build connection. And this framework for internally improving focus and getting rid of blocks. Where's the balance? How do you make it work?
The balance is absolutely crucial because think about it, the mentalist's job is often very externally focused, reading the room, influencing others.
Right.
So the book, naturally, spends a lot of time on observation techniques. But for genuine, sustainable progress for you, the listener, the sources suggest you have to balance that external focus.
Balance it with what?
With dedicated self-reflection and habit formation for the internal side.
So observing yourself as much as others.
Precisely. You need to be as intensely observant of your own internal patterns, what triggers your distraction, what are your go-to excuses for procrastination as you're trying to be of a potential client's nonverbal cues. Because if you gain all this external knowledge, all the techniques for reading people, but you lack the internal discipline to actually execute on that knowledge consistently, well, the knowledge is basically useless, isn't it?
Good point. Shelf-help, not self-help.
Exactly. You have to actively train your own mind to focus, to eliminate those mental blocks so you can execute regularly and reliably.
That's a brilliant distinction. You need the internal discipline, like the ultramarathon runner, to actually leverage the external knowledge, like the mentalist.
That's a great way to put it. The two have to work together.
Okay, quick summary then before we leave you to ponder all this.
Yeah.
We've seen that thinking like a mentalist for everyday life means Essentially, two core things. First, focusing intensely on external cues, using structured observation to build real connection and trust.
Active observation.
And second, developing that extreme internal discipline and mental toughness. Viewing internal barriers like procrastination, not as, character flaws.
Which is demoralizing.
Right. But seeing them as mental habits that are ready for systematic, step-by-step unlearning, using those small, practical techniques.
Breaking them down. And maybe here is a final thought for you to consider as you go about your week. If the true secret to a mentalist's power isn't the trick itself, but simply extreme, deliberate attention to detail and unwavering trained focus.
Okay.
Then how many of your own daily outcomes, your success in meetings, maybe the clarity in your writing, your effectiveness when networking, how many are shaped purely by the quality of your attention in those moments?
That's a challenging question.
And building on that, what specific mental habit may be related to avoidance or delay or distraction could you choose to start unlearning this week? Maybe using that simple 5-minute rule just to unlock a little bit better focus. Where could that take you?
Grab Read Your Mind by Oz Pearlman, now on sale, $22.95. Don't miss this chance and build good habits and achieve remarkable results. Buy now, today.
Like and subscribe for more Bookhaven podcasts.